Happy, is it Sunday? Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. It's last weekend before Christmas. I am out of town right now with the pups and my brother, coincidentally, in an Airbnb. This is my room. We rented the house, but it's kind of old-fashioned house. It's kind of nice, actually. While people are funneling in here, before I answer your questions, I'll talk a little bit about what my latest coding book is that I've been reading. I'll show it to you. Is it in here? Yeah, it's in here. Yo. So, I'm only about 3 chapters into the Pragmatic Programmer. Looking good. Hey, you looking good too. But it's actually been really good. One of the things I like about it is it has a pullout of 100 sort of testing. What do they call them? They call them testing ideologies, testing quotes. Let me see what they call them. Tips. Imagine that, 100 tips. So, Gator, come here, baby boy. Come here, come say hi. Come say hi, baby boy. The dogs are on vacation as well. So, but I'm only 3 chapters in, but I'm hopeful that this is actually going to be one of the better books that I've read. And I think I might like it as much as I like Clean Code. Just saying something, because Clean Code is probably my go-to book I recommend for everyone to read at any levels of their career. So it's so far so good. So it's been a interesting week. I finished my first week with Amazon. That was good and exciting. Still doing some onboarding and all that sort of usual stuff. Looking forward to diving into the code pretty soon. Went on some dates. Met somebody nice. I'm excited about that. Out of town for a bit. A little tired. 16-hour drive to get here. But my hair looks good. I think it looks good. You guys think it looks good? Actually, maybe not right there. That's looking a little. Yeah. So, let's see. You guys have any questions? Hey, Henry. I will, in the near future, be dropping a tutorial on ES 2020 when I get around to it. I have to do some touch-ups on the Scrimba course before it goes live on the 24th. I'm kind of annoyed about that, to be honest. I had to bring my microphone over here, and I have this big old bruise on my leg because I opened the car and it fell out and it nicked me. Like it fell out from the trunk and just. So this bruise on my shin is kind of shitty. But more ES stuff. Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, I'll be doing a tutorial probably by the end of January on the ES 2020. And then on the 24th, if I'm able to get the updates done, and I think I will, I'll have some time to do them on Monday or Tuesday. We'll finish up the unit testing and the clean code course. That's supposed to launch on the 24th, and it's kind of, I got some revisions on Friday, and it's kind of cutting me short, especially because I'm supposed to be out of town. I mean, I am out of town, but I'm not supposed to be working right now, so I'm kind of, but we get it done. So that's why I have such dark bags under my eyes right now. I drove 16 hours in one day. Just beast moded it. I thought about staying somewhere, but with the dogs, I just wanted to get to the final location. They seem happy. Hey, Gator. Yeah, so No Udemy courses coming out anytime soon. Um, I thought about making some mini free courses and throwing them up on Udemy rather than the YouTube channel just to gain email lists, and I'm not ruling that out, but we'll see. There's other things to be done. It's cold though, man. It's kind of nice. It's snowing where I'm at. Gator, what are you tripping about? Come here, baby boy. Come here. Gator, come here. What are you scared of? He has this concerned look on his face. But if you guys haven't looked into the ES 2020 changes, private variables and methods are available with a hashtag in front of it. It feels kind of dirty, but I'm glad they're there. I'm a big fan of access modifiers. I think it's one of the best things for clean code specifically, and leads us to make more description function names and readable code. And so that's really, I think, the main intent. Where do you keep up with the new things, languages, and like that? Dude, I just see them myself. When I see someone talk about it or something come up, or like usually towards the end of the year, usually by like Q3, end of Q3 of the year, I'll Google JavaScript, next year or whatever, 2021, right? JavaScript 2020 standard, and see when they have it defined. And they have a couple other cool things. They have I think it's called the null coalescent operator, if I remember correctly, which is essentially a new operator where instead of using like an or, which would be undefined, null, false, zero, for all false values, that one's only for null and undefined, which is very helpful. So I'm excited about that. The optional chaining, that's dope as well. Something I spent in TypeScript for a while, but now JavaScript will have it. So those are like the three main things I think are cool off the top of my head. There's probably about 10 things they added. Oh. But those are the ones I think people are actually going to use. I don't know. I made a syllabus to do it. I was actually going to be building a course for Scrimba on it, like a little crash course. Like, here are the 15 things you know, but it's so new that their app isn't updated yet to handle it and compile it. So they got put on hold for a bit. We're talking about doing a TypeScript course, but I don't know that I'm going to do that anytime soon because it's a little bigger of a course than what I was thinking it was going to be. Yeah. BenQ just emailed me. They sent me this screen bar light for the monitor to do a shout out and a video. I haven't done any videos in a while, but maybe I'll do it in the JavaScript video. It's actually pretty cool. It goes right on top of your monitor, and it's just like a light to illuminate your desk. You can control the flow of it. Yeah. God, I'm so tired. I know I'm tired, but it's one thing to feel tired. It's another thing to look into a video of yourself being tired and be like, man, you look torn up. But yeah, if you're looking for ways to stay current the same way that you would on anything else. Subscribe to YouTube channels. Go to Facebook groups, blogs, email lists, podcasts, all that sort of stuff. Stuff that's going to talk about software. Okay, so first question. So I put in my 2 weeks tomorrow. 4 out of the 10 working days are holidays. Is that unfortunate timing for them or bad professionalism on me? It's just the reality of the situation, right? What I think a lot of us have to understand is that, especially software engineers, there's never going to be a good time to leave your current project. It just doesn't work that way. There's always going to be a bad time. You're always going to be in the middle of a feature. There's always going to be more work to be had. There's always going to be something else. Like it's just the way it is. And so, um, is it unfortunate timing? Yeah, sure. But the reality is that you gave 2 weeks, and that's the timing that works for you, and you upheld your end of the bargain in that aspect in terms of what's professional. Um, if that doesn't work for them, they'll say something, and maybe you can be flexible with them. Maybe you can't. I've worked with developers who have given 2 weeks notice, and the company said, "Hey, can you stay one more week, and we'll pay you as a consultant, or we'll pay you this, and you know, without jeopardizing your future role, because we really just need to get X, Y, and Z done." And they've done it sometimes. But to answer your original question, no, I think it just is what it is. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if it's it's just there's never a good time. It's like I look at employer to employee relationships like a dating relationship in a lot of ways where is there really ever a good time to break up with somebody? Like, 'cause that's basically what you're doing. Or is it always going to suck for the other party? It's usually going to suck for the other party. That's the truth of the matter. But you can do it nicely. You can do it and be considerate. And one thing to remember is that if your employer was going to lay you off, they typically don't give you 2 weeks. So I think you're just fine. Um, you know, when you're getting laid off, this is what happens. They call you into HR. HR calls you in. They give you whatever the reason is. Maybe you're doing a bad job. Maybe it's budget, whatever. And then they ask you to go to your desk and leave. That's usually what happens. Um, and sometimes they give you severance. Sometimes they don't. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't think there's anything professional. I think it's just the time of year that happened. And right now, a lot of budgets, you know, are getting filled. So, were you able to get a coach fix, a title change, a promotion? What made you decide to jump jobs? I'm assuming you jumped jobs. You said you put your 2 weeks in. So, hopefully that means that it was for a good reason, I guess. Usually people don't quit their job to go to a worse job. Usually. Baby boy. I left because there's no structure, no code reviews or testing, etc. Was stagnant for a while. Yeah, man, that's a good reason to leave. That'll also help you improve. Um, I'm very big on like code quality control, and not everybody is. I've had people who have had issues with that aspect of me in my career. I've had people who have grown from that from me in my career, and um, my stance is that, or people, some colleagues I've worked with has called me a purist in the sense of software development, um, and I think that's the right way to go about things. Um, I don't think it's always the popular way of going about things, but I do think it's the right way of going about things. Um, but that's just one man's opinion. So I don't know, man. It's I think as far as you leaving to go to a place that's going to do code reviews, unit testing, you're more than likely going to find a higher quality of developer that you can learn from, and those processes you'll learn something, and because of that you'll be in a better position in your career, and because of that you'll be in a better financial position as well. Um, So yeah, it's kind of strange, man. The more structure, it's yeah, it's but yeah, yeah. I think good things are in your future. I guess. Congratulations on your job. Are you planning on making a video sharing your interview experience? I knew you talked about your Microsoft interview experience. Um, yeah, probably not. I signed an NDA for the Amazon interview. Um, and honestly, I'll be very scarce about what I talk about in terms of Amazon, just because they're my current employer. Anything I'd be talking about is very relevant. Um, so it's just one of those things where um, if I could give you guys any advice about social media and being and working in sort of corporate America, is if your boss was on your left side and your parents were on your right side, would you still say what you're saying in something that's being recorded? Would you still do what you're doing? If the answer is no to either one of those, don't do it. And um, if I feel like I have to get an answer, like that's a question that I feel like I'd have to go to my boss and say, hey, do you care if I do? If that's the case, then I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to go and answer that question. How's the job going? Good. I mean, I haven't really done much. Um, Typical onboarding stuff. Um, I'm only working one day this next week because I had a trip planned and whatnot, and so uh, I it's like I'm basically taking the second week off. Minus the one day, I'm gonna do some onboarding. That makes sense. Are you still doing YouTube and other tutorials? Yeah, I'm building courses. I got the podcast. I've cut back on YouTube. I'm kind of doing the live streams in the meantime because I enjoy them and they're fun, and I want to. I've always wanted to provide mentoring in whatever way that I can because I thought that was very beneficial to me. Like, if there's two mentors I've had in very different arenas of my career, I've said that I think Quincy is one of them, and also my old tech lead at my second job, Clayton, who has a podcast called The Six Figure Dev. If you want to check it out, very good podcast. Your boy's been on it. But you know, that's it's just one of those things where you know, you just gotta be careful, man, because it's one of those. Like there's been jobs where I've essentially not had the job. Um, I won't name names, but there has been organizations who didn't even want to risk me that major database companies, big database companies that were interviewing me for a principal software engineer role, and I passed the technical interview, but the senior director didn't want to take a risk on somebody who put stuff out onto the internet. That's what it came down to. Um, and so don't think for a second that just it's all benefits. There are benefits, um, but also at the same time, there are people who look at the liability of it, right? Like, what if right now I was just spouting off craziness about my current job, right? Nobody wants that. Or I share something I'm not supposed to share. So, like, those are things that people who are above my pay grade generally have to consider. And you have to understand that. How do I deal with anxiety from applying? I get lost between applying and do more projects. So, Timothy, my thing is spend 90 minutes a day applying every day, and then 2.5 hours studying if you have to. How long did you study code for your first job? Well, I dropped out of school and then I started studying web development full time for like 9 months. And yeah, around 8.5 months, I got my job offer because 2 weeks later it was like 9 months, and it was around 9 months. Um, and then I studied every day for like 4 years after that. uh, yeah. Um, Look how cute she looks. My baby girl over there. She's ready to go to bed. She's tired too. What's your baby girl? You tired girl, huh? But yeah. First week was good, man. Just onboarding, met a lot of really nice people, really smart people. Still have a lot of people to meet because it's the holidays, so some people are in, some people are out. Um, got a better idea of the project I'd be doing, what I'm going to do. Um, so, how am I going to spend Xmas alone? I'm not, coincidentally. I'm actually traveling with my brother right now in Ohio and the pups. So, um, doing a little bit of. He's thinking of staying out here, and so we're checking out a few cities, um, book some Airbnbs and whatnot. So, um, nothing too crazy. Get some food delivered, drive around, see the cities, go to some parks, things like that. So, damn, I got 2 hearts. It's pretty good. Can someone hit me with 3 hearts? Show them up. I couldn't tell you. I haven't written a line of code yet. 3 hearts? Damn, sharp. Straight up. One up, down. I'm just gonna fire back with the 4 hearts. I think one black heart is equal to like 5 hearts, right? Just, you gotta up the currency. But I don't know. To answer your question, heartbreaker. That sounds familiar. They're both tired from the car ride from yesterday, so they're a little. Normally they wouldn't be this conked out at like 9. Oh, baby boy. But they need their rest. Me too, for that matter. I just was like, I kind of felt like doing a live stream for a little bit before I knock out here in a second. Are you sighing over there? I know you're not sighing. She sighs when she wants to go to bed. You can go to bed. No one's keeping your ass up. Do I still do content free code camp? There's really not too much content left for me to do. I mean, there's some of the Python and data science stuff, but that's not really it. Do I like Radiohead? Yeah, I haven't listened to Radiohead in a while, but they used to be on my playlist way back in the day. Um, Honestly, it'd probably be pretty good coding music. Pupper channel, please. I kind of have a Pupper channel. It's called my Facebook and Instagram stories. What book? The Pragmatic Programmer is the current book I'm reading. So I've been reading a lot of self-help and relationship and communication books, and it's been a while since I've read a coding book. So it's right over there, on the floor over there. But I decided to read a technical book, and this will be fun. So yeah, so I have a couple of tutorials coming out on some of the things that I need to ramp up on for my current work. What books do you recommend on system design / architecture? You know, so the Pragmatic Program is going to talk about certain aspects of that, but it's not a book exclusively on system design or architecture. Clean Architecture is probably the only book I've read on architecture, and that was just all right. I feel like maybe I need to reread that and maybe I'll grasp it better. But to answer your question, is I haven't read a great book on architecture, um, and I think the reason for it is a couple things. One, I work in the front end, and not to say that you can't have great architecture on the front end, but there's not really too many ways to architect your front end. Um, you know, you set it up based on a modular approach where you want to lazy load certain things, and sometimes you break them up by views, right? Like, there's really not a ton of architecture. There might be architecture around how you're. It's like very specific architecture to front end, is what I'm trying to say. Um, how you break up your CSS sheets is more of a CSS architecture than an overall arcing architecture. Like, it's just one of those items where, like, I haven't found it to be super relevant yet, and I'd like it to be, but I haven't spent the time to look into it. And honestly, I've been finding myself wanting to develop and define my own patterns and share them with people. So, um, I may do a video about the data attribute selector SAS paradigm that I've been thinking about quite a bit, and how that level of abstraction is what we need to do with our style sheets and our HTML in all different frameworks, so stuff like that. Yeah. You know, there's it's also one of those things that there's so much to learn, but every year I try to learn something new. Like I start studying data structures and algorithms. Uh, that's probably something that I can, I'll do a video soon about what I accomplished in 2020, and oh, shit. That's gonna be one of them. So, um, you know, and one thing I think we have to remember, and I got stuck in this when I was a junior level engineer, is I just assumed that like people who worked at the big FANG companies are just gods. Just gods. You don't question gods. Like you don't question a you don't question the Angular team and the decisions that they make. You don't question the Facebook React team and why they do the things that they do. Clearly they know. They work at Google. They work at Facebook. They're the best of the best of the best gods. It's sacrilegious to question the gods. And what we have to remember is oftentimes they're just dudes like you and me, and ladies as well, but dudes in a generic sense, um, that they have deadlines, they have goals, and they're doing what they think is best. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But to just take things at face value without questioning them, or without maybe saying to yourself, like, I could be a coding god. Maybe I have some ideas that are better that I can share with the world. Sometimes they are better, sometimes they're worse, sometimes they're, someone else's idea that already exists. But the point is this is that I've spent time looking at what other people have to say, and I think about it, and I learn from it, and I oftentimes use it in trying to figure out how I want to do things. And I see in my personal projects if they succeed or not, or even professional. So just think about that sometimes, because sometimes I think so often we look at some of these software engineers and just take them at face value that they're doing everything right at all times. So there's no room for improvement, no room for questioning. Hey, thank you, man. So, you know, and that's not to say they're not brilliant devs. Of course they are, but you ever like watching the old Rocky movies with the Russian? Uh, was it Rocky 4 where I don't remember which Rocky it was, but there's this Russian tank of a man that was just, murdered his best friend in the ring in an exhibition bout, and then um, fought Rocky, and then Mickey, Rocky's trainer, Rocky lands a good punch, and he bleeds. Right, the this inconceivable god of a boxer bleeds, and Mickey's like, he's just a man. It's like, it's kind of like that, except with developers, right? And who go and define these patterns. You know, you can look at people who are hugely successful. Traverse to me is a fantastic example. Brad's a normal dude, man. He's got wife, kids. He's successful, has his own problems, has his own goals and dreams, and knows so much. Doesn't mean he knows everything, and he doesn't mean he's right about everything. Same thing with the guys at Google and Facebook and everywhere else, right? So like, um, sometimes I feel like we just, especially when like you're just getting going, you just assume that like they know best, and they know something. They're definitely they're not they're definitely what I'd say is you should always listen to people who are successful and who are good and who are somewhere you'd want to be. Talk about my first professional experience as a developer. Well, let's skip over the contracting consulting stuff. Um, but my first year as a developer, I moved across country. I booked a $14 a night Airbnb uh, in this like trailer with a twin bed, and I had about $1,000, maybe a little less than $1,000 in my bank account. Drove, car packed up, little 3-cylinder Mitsubishi Mirage. Um, but I showed up on Monday, sleep deprived and tired. Um, like if you think I'm tired right now after a 16-hour drive, imagine a 36-hour drive coast to coast alone. Oh my goodness. There are few things that were as torturous as that drive, but it's well worth it. So show up a little stunned at what I see. They were handing code around on USB drives, and I talked to them about Git and things like that. They were in the process of hiring a senior software engineer, um, but senior software engineer started like the week after I did. Get the project up and running, um, and yeah, I got introduced to unit tests. I know those existed at the time. Got much better because I was working every single day. I was working in Angular JS at the time and JavaScript, HTML. Got more comfortable with Sass. Oh, you don't know that wasn't it. I tried to get them to convert to Sass, and they said no. So we did just CSS. Um, I started working with PHP, Cake PHP, and MySQL at the time. But yeah, I mean, towards around 9 months. So like almost within a month, I was helping mentor the guy who got me a job and like an intern, and very early on. Um, Not that there's anything wrong with it, but like, I have 1 month experience, right? um, and so by like 9 or 10 months, I'm asking questions to the senior dev and getting answers back that I don't really agree with and I think are incorrect. And I start feeling like I've I've achieved what I was going to achieve here. I'm getting close to 1 year experience. I don't feel like I'm going to grow much more by being here. I feel like I'm doing an excellent job. Um, and then around 1 year, I leave to go to a different company. So that's sort of my first professional dev experience. Um, as a dev, anyhow. It was great. I actually So Sam is his name. Sam, who interviewed me, and gave me the job. I texted him uh, maybe a week ago, right? But like the day before I was supposed to start my first day at Amazon, and I just wanted to. I said, "Hey Sam, I hope everything's going well with the family, and I just want to let you know that I'm very grateful that you gave me my foot in the door in the shot. I'm going to go work at Amazon, and um, I worked very hard for that. But if it wasn't for you, sort of opening that door for me and giving me the opportunity, I wouldn't be doing this right now. So thank you." So like, you know, he holds a special place in my heart, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Uh, did I leave before or after accepting another offer? Just like any other job, I always make before I go and accept something. So like, um, you know, whether I'm delivering pizzas or I'm writing software, um, why would you leave a role without another one lined up? You're playing a very dangerous game there. Um, so, but um, but yeah. So that was my first ever experience. It was interesting. There was a couple awkward moments where the VP of something or another would always tell us how expensive we were, and that was kind of shitty. uh, I mean, and by the way, like we weren't like maybe compared to typical people, but like I mean, I was getting a fair entry level salary without a doubt. I was making I started at 62,000. That was my very first dev job. Um, but like that's not as far as software engineers go, super expensive by any means. Um, but yeah, that must have happened in 9 months 20 times. Like it's just like a weekly thing where he'd come and he always would say it in a joking manner, but there was all a lot. Oftentimes people joke about things that they feel are true, um, and so it always made me feel weird and shitty. Um, happy holidays to you as well as you. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool though. There was a massage chair. No, Dustin's not. Dustin's camera shy. He doesn't want to be on here. Maybe one day. But yeah, man, that was a fun job, man. I'd go out to I worked in downtown St. Pete, and we'd walk down, and there's this New York pizza place I'd eat at literally every single day. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big Italian food guy and pizza and cheese guy. So like every single day I'd go get a slice or two of pizza, and they had a whole bunch of them. I just always like no every single day, every single day. um, yeah, so it was a lot of fun though. It's stressful though. I mean, first dev job, working cross country after you just dropped out of school, and you're gonna prove everybody wrong. Um, you're gonna go be successful on your own, and you know you're struggling with imposter syndrome. You're you know learning a whole bunch of stuff, getting an apartment at the time, figuring out if my girlfriend was gonna come meet me or not, or yeah, she wasn't my girlfriend yet. We were reconciling. Um, I was living in a house before I got the apartment with a bunch of college kids doing crazy stuff. Um, and it was one of the guys actually worked at Domino's, so I got along with him pretty well. um, yeah, man. You know what I regret about that is I never got any of those guys' numbers. I should have. They were nice guys, but like I made a judgment call, and I think I made the wrong judgment call. Um, I intentionally, when I got down here, didn't want to meet people who weren't career focused. And they were nice guys, got along together, made some friends. But I decided when I moved out of that house after 2 or 3 months, because it was a short period of time, that for me, if they weren't going in the same direction I was going, I didn't want to start those relationships. And I kind of regret it. Like, it did what it was supposed to do, it kept me focused and whatnot. But I don't know. Sometimes I think back about that and, like, oh, maybe there were some good dudes I should have given a shot, even if they weren't. But, 2020. Um, or not 2020, the past. You know what I'm saying. Like, it's easier to make the correct decision in the future after the past already happened. I'm forgetting the saying. Um, but no, I haven't had pizza in Italy, but you best believe it's on the bucket list. How's the new job going? It's going well, man. They haven't fired me yet, so that's uh, that's uh, that's a win. Uh, yeah, man, it's happy to hear, right? God. No, everyone's really nice, man. I'm really excited to I think I can share this. The team's been growing, so there's a lot of people who are recently in the same position that I am in, being a new hire. So there are people who have like gone through the onboarding process, and it's very fresh what it means to be a new hire, and so that's cool. Sometimes you're just the one guy that they hired to expand onto a team of people who've been there for decades, right? And that's always a little bit rougher because it's been so long since they were the new hire. So your house isn't going to be haunted by anything other than memories. Yeah, man, I actually really want to sell my house, but it keeps going up in value. So like it went up $7,500 according to Zillow this month. 7,500. So um, the area is going up and up and up. So hold on to it as long as I can. It's weird being there. It's kind of at times it feels haunted by ex-girlfriend's past. It'll be the last place I buy until I meet somebody who I'm ready to buy with. Uh, Rent it out, I guess. That's actually something I keep going back and forth on. If I want to keep it as an investment property, because it'll rent for about $2,000 right now, and it might go higher even. as crazy as that sounds. So I go back and forth between like, if I really am not going to buy a place, and I'm okay with. So if I'm not going to buy a place, I'm going to rent. I don't need that money because that money, if the equity in the house, would simply get rolled over into some sort of stock investment, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if I want it to increase in value and I want to collect rent and all that sort of stuff, like, do I hold on to it? It's something I've been thinking about as I, consider uh, when and how I go to Seattle when the time comes. If the time comes, all that sort of stuff. But I'm thinking of renting it out, but I'm also thinking of selling it. So I've had a lot of people tell me to rent it out, but they've never actually rented out property, especially. It's just one of those things where the people who have done it, especially out of state, have told me like it's a pain in the ass, don't do it. And so like a lot of people who haven't done it but understand numbers think it's a great idea. Like I understand numbers, and I understand that it could work out really well, but it also could just be a pain in the ass, and like maybe just rolling it over into something would be better. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. That's another thing is like right now you can't evict people. Like what? So that's a little sketchy. Hey, sweet cheeks. Hey, baby girl. She's like, Daddy, put me to bed. It's okay. It's just a car. They're not used to so much noise. 'Cause we live in this world's most boring gated community. So, here's the book of the day, boys. The Pragmatic Programmer. Yeah. Hey, sweetheart. Hurt the belly. So, oops. What happened here? Oh, swap the camera. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. We got some time to figure that out. Um, I've looked in a property management company. It's usually they take like half or three-fourths of your first month's rent and then 10% of every month after that, um, which is fine. Like I'd still make a profit, especially if you factor in the equity. Like I did the math, and it was basically like if it increases at the rate that it's increasing and it rents for what it should rent for, then it's like I'll make like $12,000 a year after assuming some costs with it. So, what tech will I be working? Can you talk about that? Super secret. I don't know, but if you sit, here's a hint: if you see tutorials on it, there's a reason. Since when I learn, I like to build things about what it is I'm learning. Um, and if you're ever wondering, like Dylan mentioned, hey, he's studying data structures and algorithms. That's interesting. Why would Dylan study data structures and algorithms? Hmm? Like, what was that? Like, I think I was um, like I'm not a type of guy who just goes and learns something just to learn it. It's because there's something else going on. Yep. So like, like, oh, Dylan's finally learning data structures out, and that's cool. He must really want to know that stuff. Yep, yep. Uh, I don't know. I'm always like that's the thing. Also, why I do tutorials about this stuff is kill as many birds with one stone as you can, right? So if you go and you know, if you go and um, do a tutorial on ES, if you go and learn modern JavaScript, whatever ES 2020 is, go do a tutorial on it and share it with people. Um, and build a course on it, make some money off of it, whatever it is, right? So, and gain the knowledge in the process. So like, it's one of those things where machine gun them birds, or rather, probably better analogy, a sniper rifle. Get like if you're playing Call of Duty, like a double headshot with one bullet or a triple headshot. Um, Call of Duty, um, with your sniper rifle of learning. It's kind of one of the benefits of having a YouTube channel also, because like bare bones, you can get a sponsor or make a little ad revenue or grow your personal brand, all that sort of stuff. I'd love to pick your brain one day, Dylan. Would you be open to talking to me for like 20 minutes as a self-taught dev? I'm very inspired by you. I'm glad I inspire you, but you can pick my brain on these live streams for free, which I do. I usually do one a week, but it's actually been increasing about two a week. Or uh, you could pay me for a one-on-one session, and that's going up to. I think I'm gonna up it. If I were to stick to my old metric of a multiple of my hourly rate, it'd be about $300 an hour. But that's 150 an hour is already a bit much. But it's probably going to go up to about 200, 250 an hour to do the mentoring for one-on-one sessions. So, um, you could book a mentoring session, and I let you pick my brain for an hour, or you can just ask questions in the chat when I do these live streams. That's why I do them live, and these AMAs, so that I can do that, because like it's I know it's expensive, and I want to help people, but also if I did a code review for everyone who wanted to do a code review, if I just email me, Dylan's email 310@gmail.com. Reach out and we'll set something up. More important is to focus on JavaScript or CSS. JavaScript. So, gonna need all of them, but JavaScript's gonna be what gets you the job. Can you type it in? Can I? I don't know. Shit. I don't think so. I'll say it. DYLANSEMAIL 310@gmail.com. My name plural. Email 310@gmail.com. Dylan's email 310@gmail.com. That's the best I can do. So. This beanie hair, man. I gotta get a haircut pretty soon. I don't know what I'm doing with this either. So what I've been doing is sort of having short on the sides and long on top. But I don't really have a game plan. That was the game plan, but it's getting a little too long, I think. Maybe not, though. I didn't see it come up. I think it got filtered out. As a front-end developer, you should learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a front-end framework as the fundamental stuff. That's really it at the end of the day. Just go full Thor. What's full Thor? I could dye my hair black again. Oh my goodness. It's been about a decade since I've had black hair. Hair down to your mid back. Oh. No, 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 no. That ain't it. What about faux hawk? Bring those back. Do people still do faux hawks? Dude, when I was in high school, oh my goodness, junior, senior year, everybody had a faux hawk. I couldn't even with a straight face have a faux hawk. Like there's certain things that I just feel silly if I did. A faux hawk is probably one of them. Another one's probably wearing an Affliction t-shirt. Have I ever learned C Sharp or Java? Well, I've written some C Sharp at work, and my college coursework was in Java from way back in the day. So, look at this hair. Who wouldn't want this man right here? Look at this. This is a sexy man right here. Look at this. Like, hey man, how you doing? All right, guys. We've been going about an hour. I'm getting a little tired and delirious, as it would seem. I appreciate y'all. Um, hopefully, Zio, you got my email. Shoot me an email. If not, find me on Facebook or something or LinkedIn, and we'll connect. Um, everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a good week. And if I don't see you by Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Bye, guys.